how to set goals in 2021 so that you can actually go and hit them. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, it's that time of the year when the entire planet is working on their New Year resolutions and trying to come up with the goals for the year and trying to hit them and stay focused. And the gyms will be full and people will come up with new diets and things like that. And it fizzles out a month from now, right? The reason it fizzles out is because people generally don't have an understanding of what it takes on a regular basis to hit their goals. Okay, so I'm going to talk about three things today that will actually help you achieve these goals for you guys, and you will be able to stick to them and you will be able to actually hit these goals. So the three things, of course, are the number one is the big audacious goal. Like you have to reach for the stars to hit the moon. Okay, so we have all heard of this. So have big audacious goals so that you can actually so that you can actually be satisfied and happy with the goals or the results that you have at the end of the year. So that's number one. The second thing, which is the most important thing in the three steps, is actually to reverse engineer and kind of backtrack what it takes, like what's the effort and what's the time commitment that is needed to hit your goal. Like what kind of resources does it take from you, time, money, or anything else? Like what kind of resources goes into hitting that goal for you? So that's number two. That's the thing you have to figure out, and that's the most important thing here for you to be able to hit the goal. And number three, which is the hardest to do, is basically implementing it and sticking to it. So it needs a lot of discipline and focus and effort to be able to have this process going on a daily basis. And that's why it's hardest. Okay. So moving on to number one. So having a big audacious goal. Okay. It could be anything. Let's say let's say you have a financial goal. Let's say you want to hit $1 million in a year in revenue. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to talk through what I have kind of put together in terms of how do you reverse engineer from there. Okay, so what you have here is like we talked about. So when you have goals, you need to reverse engineer them for them to be effective. And let's say your revenue goal is about $1 million a year. Okay, so reverse engineer kind of that. Let's say you're a real estate agent and your average closing gives you about an $8,000 commission. Okay, so you're doing about 250K, 300K kind of house, let's say, and you have 2.5, 3% commission, whatever, and you are getting about $8,000 take home, for example. Okay, and kind of think about it for a minute. So how many closings do you need to be able to get to $1 million? Okay, that's about 125 closings for you to get to $1 million a year. So let that sink in for a bit. And that 125 closings in 1 year equates to about 10 closings a month. Okay. So most of the agents that I talk to do about 1 or 2 or 3 closings in a month. So if you have an audacious goal of $1 million in revenue, you are looking at 10 closings a month. Okay. One of the key things to kind of reverse engineer this process is to put the emotion on the side, like have emotion right and do it in a very, very practical and logical way and bring out that left brain of yours and focus on kind of dissecting what this process looks like. Okay. So you need about 10 closings a month. So to get to about 10 closings a month, think about what's the step before closing. You need to have appointments, and you need to have listing appointments. You need to meet buyers buyers in person and get them in agreement and things like that. So you need to have appointments, in-person appointments, live transfers, whatever it may be. So think about how many of those do you need every single month. Let's say you have an average of about 20, 25, 33% close rate. Let's say the best case scenario is 33% close rate. Now you're looking at about 30 appointments in a month. Okay. I don't know how many appointments you are doing today, but 30 appointments a month is about 1 appointment a day at least. Okay. So to get to about 30 appointments a month, you are looking at about 150, you're looking at about 1,500 prospects to be talking to. Like these are the prospects who you talk to. So it takes about 50 prospects, interacting with them, talking to them, feeling them out to be able to get to an appointment. That's an average number. It could be more, it could be less based on how seasoned of an agent you are, what market you are in, but it takes roughly 50 prospects to be able to get one appointment. Okay, so that's 1,500 prospects that you need to have in your database or in your CRM or whatever be the case every single month to be able to get to 30 appointments. Okay, so what does these 1,500 prospects look like? Like, how do you get these 1,500 prospects in your database, right? So you should be able to talk to them. And you are able to talk to a person after roughly about 8 touch points. Okay, there's an industry standard. It could be 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You need about 8 attempts of calls or text messages or emails or postcards or whatever it is. It takes about 8 attempts to get in touch with a person. So 1,500 leads per month, and that's 50 leads a day, and about 8 touch points for each of these leads. So now you're looking at about 400 touch points a day. Okay, so these 400 touch points could be calls, emails, text messages. It could be comments on like Facebook that you eventually build relationship with, Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, whatever. So these are the number of touch points that you need to have on an every single day basis to be able to kind of reverse engineer all of that and go and hit $1 million in revenue. Okay. So take a look at this and see if you can build out a goal for yourself and try to reverse engineer them according to your market, according to your close percentage. Like your average closing could be about, I don't know, $20,000 if you're in California or in, Washington and Seattle and things like that. You don't need to have these many closings. You probably only have 50. Whatever it is, tweak these numbers according to you based on your conversion, and you will have a systematic way of looking at what is the effort that is needed from your end to be able to get to the output. Like I'm a big believer in working on inputs and not worrying about really outputs. Okay, this process helps me hone in my focus on the inputs. Okay, there's a very famous Sanskrit saying, karmanye vadikaraste, ma phaleshu padachana. So what that means is I need to focus on only the inputs. I need to focus on my effort and not really worry about what the output looks like, because I don't really control the output. I don't control if the closing happens or not. I don't control if the buyer decides to back out. I don't control any of that. Okay. What I do control is how many touch points am I making every single day with my lead gen system, with my prospecting system, with my follow-up system, with my drip system, whatever I have. Leverage automated systems, intelligent automated systems, not mechanical automated systems. Leverage these systems so that you can get those touch points out and you can have these leads coming in, you can have these prospects coming in, you can have these appointments going out for you so that you can hit your closings number. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Let me know what your goals are. How have you derived any of these? How have you reverse engineered this? And if you have questions and if you're struggling with any of these, hit me up and I'm happy to help you guys with it. I have coached a lot of people on this goal setting kind of strategy. Learn what I can do for you. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Take care.